Why is your mind made like that?
That's right.
Why do you want to hold on to the idea that God is a spirit? Is it because it's comfortable? Is it because it means there's no responsibility? What's the reason? If we don't have to deal with reality, if he's a spirit, I ain't got to deal with nothing. But when you say man, now you got to deal with somebody that's real.
All right.
Then the question is, what makes him God? Why should I serve somebody who looks just like me?
All right.
Some say, well, we can understand the white man, the devil, but white man being the devil, but black man being God, that's too hard. No. One is just as real as the other.
That's right.
You don't really understand that the white man is the devil until you really understand we made him.
All right.
And you can't do that unless you are God.
Come on.
These people have demonstrated God qualities.
That's right.
The white man says he wants to go to the moon, and he masters a sufficient degree of the laws of physics, math. He makes a contraption, puts himself in it, and goes.
That's right. Make it happen. Make it happen.
He didn't get on his knees and beg God to grow him some wings. He made him a spaceship.
That's right.
You know how deep this thing goes? You and I, human beings, have the capacity to think logically, mathematically, or opposite. We can go either way with our mind.
Come on.
We can progress intelligently, or we can self-destruct and drive ourselves into insanity.
That's right.
You don't have nothing else in creation that can do that.
Come on.
That little point alone demonstrates the superiority of the human mind over and above everything else in creation. That's why white folks call the mind the last frontier. When you get to the mind, there you're dealing straight up with God himself.
That's right.
Think on it. Brothers and sisters, we're taught, though we are struggling with it, but we're taught. But when you accept this teaching, you've begun a process of self-mastery. That everything you find outside of the human being throughout the universe, not just the objects or the material that make up those objects, but the energy or the law that governs its behavior, is right inside the human being. And the more and more we master self, we're mastering the laws that govern creation. That's growth into God. We can explain to you God being a man. Something of the process by which we can grow. You know that there are people on this earth that can read your mind. You heard about it. David Copperfield, I don't think he can read nobody's mind, but the man is heavy duty in magic. He can make the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty disappear. I mean, a man who can pull off that kind of an illusion, that's heavy, isn't it? But he can make you think abracadabra is gone. That's an indication in the upside down fashion of the power of this. Come another way. Think on this a minute. To show you how powerful your brain is, even though we're on the bottom floor of the knowledge of ourselves, you can imagine a great big beach ball that's jet black, can't you? Just as soon as I said it. Now imagine inside that ball is total darkness. And in the middle of that ball, lights. One called the sun, roughly in the middle, and 9 little lights running around it, and outside of that, a bunch of other little lights called stars, and that's your universe. Look how easy you did that. Look how easy you conceptualize the universe. And none of us hardly in here are physicists, are we? This is an example. Black folks are who you think you're not. Oh yeah, we are who we think we're not. Now, I know it may sound weird, but look at what you and I have been believing in.
Come on now.
Mary had her little lamb.
Come on.
The 3 pigs and the 3 bears or whatever. Little Red Riding Hood. Jesus is white and angels sprout wings. And you're going to come back and do things after you're dead. We've been believing lies. You say, but this seems strange to me. Yeah, well, the Bible tells you. We be strange people in a strange land among strange people. And in Isaiah, it said that God will work a strange work in this strange situation. God's work seems strange. Truth is stranger than fiction only when the people believe fiction is true. So, I'm just trying to say, look at the lie, look at the truth. Look at the two of them. Just look at them, weigh them, think about it. When you go home, I want you to give this the biggest thought you've ever given it. Because brother and sister, ain't none of us getting around this thing. The only way you don't see the end of this is you die a couple of 3 days from now.
All right.
We're in the judgment right now.
Yes, sir.
That's
Our little boys and girls, we thought of God as a huge, big white man with a long beard. Right?
Yes, sir.
Saying you go to the right, you go to the left, you go to the right, you go to the left. That's childishness.
That's right. That's what we believe.
Childishness. That's part of why some of us are so doggone unforgiving. Our warped ideas that we got
Yes.
from people that really didn't know any better.
Yes.
We have to learn to be forgiving if we expect to be forgiven.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Two things I don't want to forget. We have to be forgiving, but you can't be forgiving if you're ignorant of the value of yourself.
All right.
To be forgiving presupposes that your heart has developed a certain degree of love, self-love and love for others.
Yes.
You will never love nobody else if you don't love yourself.
That's right. That's it.
The thing is, how do we get past the barrier of some of us who are so much used to hating ourselves, it's habitual.
All right.
I once was in a mosque 10 years ago in New York City, and 11 years ago. And at a certain point in the talk, to make a point, I said, how many of you hate yourself? And 21 Muslims raised their hand. Oh, the subject had to change. We had to deal with that, drop everything else, and deal with that for another couple hours.
Yes, sir.
This thing of self-hatred is pervasive in black folk. But Allah is wise. Every single brother and sister, whether it's this mosque or wherever we may be, Allah knows who's in that city. You say, but I didn't see no God send nobody. I talked to brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so myself. And I was the one who invited them and they came. You know, no. You had a lot of help. We just didn't see the help.
All right.
I want you to dwell on this, Muslims. Think on this. Because this is part of what holds us back. We now are in a time period when we can get anything we want legitimately in every single city.
That's right.
I'm going to give you the smallest example I can give you. This may sound like a Rudy Poop example, but I'm going to give one that you can stand. The others you might not want to believe.
Come on.
But in Phoenix, Arizona one day, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told me, he said, brother, I don't feel up to his driver's license had expired. He said, brother, I don't feel up to going down to the motor vehicle today. I want you to go down there and tell him Mr. Muhammad just doesn't feel up to coming down today, and would you please give him his license? I said, yes, sir. I went down, they had me sit on the bench. About 20 minutes later, they gave me the license. We chatted for a few minutes, and I came back and gave him his license. I saw that situation, I participated, and I said, that's deep. A couple of days later, I forgot about it. It was a series of things he did like that. That's touching something very small. You've read where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am. You read that. Why don't you try it?
Come on.
All you need to do is look at your motives, be sure they're right. Look at the objective, be sure it's worthy. Tighten up with one another. Go wash up and talk to your God.
All right.
You got it.
Yes, sir.
He wants us to test him, not in a foolish fashion.
Right.
But you can get whatever you want, Muslims, anything you want, which would help the rest of our people in this city see God is here.
Yes, sir.
He's
yes,
real.
Sir. Yes, sir.
That's one way to demonstrate. That's one of many ways to demonstrate it. Simple, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You want it, ask for it.
All right. Yes, sir.
Now, brothers and sisters, you know one of the things that sooner or later you got to deal with? You have to deal with the same thing the white Shriners have to deal with. White Shriners come up in this world thinking a certain way. Then they study what they study in secret, though we're studying it openly.
Yes.
And they come to realize at a certain point why things are the way they are. They get to a certain level, and they pay the Pope or his emissaries $6,000. They go overseas to Jerusalem, and they see a body, and they know that's Jesus. You say, that's crazy. Well, you ain't thinking. There's a book on the market called Holy Blood, Holy Grail, in which white folks are trying to prove, or some of them, that Jesus had wives, children, and his descendants live to this day. But in the book, in a short paragraph, is a heavy-duty statement that the real root of the Crusades' battles was to recover not just an empty coffin, but the body that was in the coffin.
Come on.
Yes.
Come
Truth
on.
is known, but Keep it away from black folks.
Yes.
That's right.
You and I join the Eastern Stars of the Shriners of the Masons, you get your degree in no time. White folks got up in their 50s and 60s. You get yours when you're 30. You're not getting the same thing.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Even these Shriners go through a period where they, for a few days, play the part of a bum. Everybody who's a bum is not a bum.
All
A
right.
bum gives away the fact that he's not a bum or a person disguising himself by the intelligence you see in his eyes.
Right, right.
When you just can't hide that.
That's right.
Unless you know how to muddy up your eyes. But they go through that kind of training. We don't go through nothing like that.
That's right.
Why? I mean, and so, brothers, I don't have time to get into that kind of talk. You get that from Minister Rodney and others. But we need to come out of all these things that don't mean nothing, paying for that which brings you no gain, as Isaiah says. Eastern Star, sister, you ain't got to pay for that. You're Eastern Star from the giddy up.
That's right.